What is knowledge? Is it a mere accumulation of facts, or does it run deeper, involving the intricate interplay of experience and perception? These questions have plagued thinkers for millennia, creating an enigma that continues to baffle and intrigue us. In the heart of this mystery stands a figure whose contributions to the realm of knowledge and understanding have been monumental, a philosopher who dedicated his life to resolving these profound questions. His name? Immanuel Kant. Born in the year 1724, Kant was a child of the Enlightenment, an era marked by a fervor for reason and intellectual exploration. This was a time when thinkers were challenging traditional doctrines and dogmas, daring to question things that had been taken for granted for centuries. It's within this backdrop that Kant's philosophical journey begins. Located on the eastern shores of the Baltic Sea, Königsberg was Kant's birthplace, a city that is now known as Kaliningrad, in modern-day Russia. It was a city of culture and learning, a fitting incubator for one of the greatest philosophers the world has ever seen. Kant's ideas have left an indelible mark on the landscape of Western philosophy. His work, characterized by a rigorous and systematic approach, grappled with the tension between empirical observation and metaphysical speculation. His relentless pursuit of understanding the nature of knowledge and morality, his emphasis on reason and critical thinking, set the stage for a revolution in philosophical thought. This was a man who dared to delve into the nature of knowledge itself, exploring the subtle dance between sensory experiences and innate cognitive structures. His ideas would lay the groundwork for what he termed transcendental idealism, a concept that would forever change our understanding of the world and our place within it. Born in Königsberg in 1724, Kant was a child of the Enlightenment. He was destined to leave an indelible mark on the landscape of Western philosophy. And indeed, he did. His legacy continues to influence contemporary philosophical discourse, a testament to the enduring relevance of his ideas. But before we delve into the depths of his contributions, let us first understand the man himself and the world that shaped him. Kant's magnum opus, Critique of Pure Reason, published in 1781, was a game-changer. This seminal work sparked a revolution in philosophical inquiry, brilliantly reconciling two seemingly opposing schools of thought: empiricism, which contends that knowledge comes primarily from sensory experience, and rationalism, which posits that reason is the chief source and test of knowledge. In Critique of Pure Reason, Kant dared to imagine a world where these two philosophies could coexist. He argued that our understanding of reality is not solely based on sensory experiences, nor is it purely a result of rational thought. Instead, he proposed, it's a blend of both. This revolutionary idea was the crux of what he termed transcendental idealism. Now let's delve a bit deeper into this concept. Transcendental idealism posits that the world as we know it is not an absolute, independently existing reality. Instead, it's a product of our minds, shaped by both our sensory experiences and our innate cognitive structures. These structures, Kant argued, are not derived from experience. Rather, they are the very conditions that make experience possible. Think of it like this. Our minds are like a pair of glasses. They do not merely passively receive information from the outside world, but actively shape and structure this information to create our perception of reality. The lenses through which we view the world, according to Kant, are formed by our sensory experiences and our innate cognitive structures. This revolutionary approach to understanding knowledge and reality forever changed the landscape of Western philosophy. It challenged the conventional wisdom of the time and sparked a new wave of philosophical inquiry. Kant's synthesis of sensory experiences and innate cognitive structures laid the foundation for a new understanding of our world. His work in Critique of Pure Reason illuminated a path that straddled the divide between empiricism and rationalism, bringing about a remarkable shift in our understanding of how we perceive and interact with the world around us. Ethics, for Kant, was not a matter of convenience but a categorical imperative. The German philosopher Immanuel Kant, in his groundbreaking work, introduced a moral compass that was not rooted in personal gain or societal norms, but rather in a universal principle that could be applied without contradiction. This principle, known as the categorical imperative, lies at the heart of Kant's moral philosophy. The categorical imperative is a command that applies to an individual regardless of their desires or personal goals. It's not a guideline or a suggestion, but an absolute, unconditional requirement that must be obeyed in all circumstances. It's the golden rule of Kant's moral philosophy. dictating that one should only act according to maxims that could be universally applied. In other words, if an action isn't suitable as a universal law, then it's not morally acceptable. Kant's moral philosophy places a significant emphasis on the autonomy of the moral agent. This means that individuals are not just passive recipients of moral laws, but active creators of them. This autonomy is deeply intertwined with the concept of freedom. For Kant, true freedom is not about doing whatever one pleases, but about having the capacity to act according to moral laws that one gives oneself. It's about being the author of your own actions, not merely a character in someone else's script. Furthermore, Kant underscored the importance of ethical duties guided by reason. He argued that morality is not based on feelings, inclinations, or even the outcomes of our actions. Instead, it's based on rationality and the intrinsic worth of moral duty. This perspective shifts the focus from the consequences of an action to the intention behind it. It's not about what we achieve, but about what we ought to do. For Kant, morality was not merely subjective. It was a universal principle, guided by reason and applicable to all. It's a compass that points towards the same direction, irrespective of where we stand. It's a light that shines brightly, regardless of our personal shadows. It's a call to reason, a call to duty, a call to be not just rational beings, but moral ones as well. Beauty, Kant believed, was not just in the eye of the beholder. It was a delicate dance, a harmonious blend of universal principles and subjective feelings. For Kant, beauty was not a property inherent in objects, but rather it was a relationship between the object and the observer. His exploration of this complex relationship formed the bedrock of his aesthetic philosophy, as articulated in his monumental work, Critique of Judgment. In this work, Kant delved into the subjective nature of beauty, juxtaposing it with the universality of aesthetic judgment. He proposed that judgments of beauty, while inherently subjective, are nonetheless guided by universal principles. This was Kant's way of reconciling the personal subjective experience of beauty with the need for a shared communal understanding of what constitutes beauty. The philosopher argued that when we judge something to be beautiful, we expect others to agree with our judgment. This expectation is not based on empirical evidence or logical reasoning, but on a shared sense of aesthetic sensibility. In other words, while the experience of beauty is deeply personal, it is also intrinsically social. And yet, Kant's philosophy of beauty was not limited to the visual or the tangible. It extended to the realm of the sublime, that awe-inspiring, almost overwhelming sensation we experience in the face of nature's grandeur or a piece of extraordinary art. The sublime, Kant argued, was not about the size or scale of an object, but about the emotional and intellectual response it evokes in us. The sublime makes us feel small, insignificant, yet it also empowers us. It reminds us of our own limitations, while simultaneously affirming our capacity to transcend these limitations through the power of imagination and understanding. This is the beauty of Kant's aesthetic philosophy. It acknowledges the subjective, emotional aspect of beauty, while affirming the role of intellect and reason in shaping our aesthetic judgments. For Kant, the sublime wasn't just about what we see, it was about what we feel, perceive, and understand. It was about recognizing the inherent beauty in the world and in ourselves. Kant's influence extended far beyond the realm of philosophy. His groundbreaking ideas permeated into other disciplines, casting ripples that continue to shape our world today. In theology, Kant's works provided a robust framework to understand the complex relationship between faith and reason, challenging traditional views and inspiring new theological perspectives. Moving to psychology, Kant's insights into the human mind's innate structures and its interaction with sensory experience laid the groundwork for cognitive psychology. His ideas about perception and cognition continue to inform our understanding of how we process and interpret the world around us. In the realm of physics, Kant's concept of space and time as forms of human intuition anticipated later developments in Einstein's theory of relativity. His philosophical ideas about the nature of reality and the limits of human knowledge continue to provoke intriguing questions in the physical sciences. Kant's impact on philosophy, however, was perhaps most profound. His systematic and rigorous approach to philosophical inquiry laid the foundation for German idealism, a movement that profoundly influenced thinkers like Georg Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel and Arthur Schopenhauer. Hegel, for instance, built upon Kant's ideas to develop his own comprehensive philosophical system, while Schopenhauer drew on Kant's metaphysics to formulate his philosophy of will. Today, Kant's legacy continues to resonate in contemporary philosophical discourse. His emphasis on reason, morality, and the subjective nature of human experience remains central to debates in metaphysics, ethics, and aesthetics. His ideas still challenge us, pushing us to question our assumptions and encouraging us to think critically about the world. Indeed, Kant's influence was not confined to his own era. His ideas have echoed throughout the centuries, shaping the course of intellectual history and leaving an indelible mark on the landscape of human thought. Kant's relentless pursuit of understanding the nature of knowledge and morality has solidified his place as one of the greatest thinkers in the history of philosophy. His intellectual legacy endures as a testament to the power of reason and the enduring quest for truth.